Have you ever been in a moment like this? At a family gathering, your friend suddenly announces their engagement. The ring catches the light. People scream, hug, raise their glasses. Phones come out to record the moment. And you're sitting quietly in the corner, holding a glass of sparkling water you barely touched, wearing a polite smile. Someone nudges your arm. When is it your turn? You shrug. No rush. There's a brief silence. Then comes the familiar line. You're just afraid of commitment. Not a question, a statement. As if not running toward marriage means you're running away from it. As if not standing in that spotlight of celebration automatically puts you on the opposite side. You smile, you say nothing, but you know it's not fear. It never was. You've probably seen statistics like this. Over 60% of adults believe marriage is an important life goal. On social media, proposal videos get millions of likes. You finally did it becomes a standard definition of romance. Everywhere you look, the message is the same. Being chosen is lucky, settling down is maturity. A grand ceremony is a life highlight. And you? No ring dot, no engagement photos. Not even claiming you're actively looking. You become an anomaly. People say your standards are too high. They say you're afraid of getting hurt. They say you're not ready yet. But no one asks, what if you simply don't need that format? In psychology, there's a concept called autonomous decision-making. It describes people who don't use social norms as their primary reference point. When others follow a path, they pause and ask, is this right for me? It's not rebellion. It's not avoidance. It's clarity. When everyone around you is showing off rings, your mind is asking different questions. Why do I need this? Is this the only way to express commitment? Does the depth of a relationship really need official validation? You're not rejecting love. You're rejecting the idea that love must come in a standardized form. The deeper difference lies in how you understand rituals. Psychologists say humans need rituals to mark important moments. That's natural. But most people believe rituals must be public, visible, and socially recognized. Weddings, engagements, anniversary parties? You're different. You've privatized your rituals. Maybe it's a quiet meal you cook together. A secret phrase only the two of you understand. A late-night conversation followed by a silence that says everything. Your relationship has its own rhythm. It just doesn't need an audience. That's not a lack of romance. That's a more intimate version of it. But let's be honest, there's something worth examining here. Psychologists distinguish between two things. Autonomous choice. I know what I want. Avoidant decision-making. I don't choose because I'm afraid to choose wrong. If you find yourself pulling back from all forms of commitment, not just marriage, but leases, long-term plans, even something as small as adopting a pet, then it might be worth asking. Is this wisdom? Or is it fear wearing the mask of calm? You're not the first person trying to balance independence and emotional distance. The real question is, do you have the courage to know which one you're living? Many people feel anxious about marriage because they fear missing the right time, but that fear has never really driven you. In psychology, this is called a low social comparison orientation. You don't measure your life against others. When someone changes jobs, do you panic? When someone buys a house, do you feel behind? When someone gets married, do you feel like you've lost a race? If your answer is not really, then congratulations. You've escaped one of the most exhausting mental traps. You're living on your own timeline. Other people's progress bars don't define you. That's not indifference. That's a rare kind of freedom. And this way of thinking probably started earlier than you realize. Maybe you once saw a big, beautiful wedding and noticed the couple looked more exhausted than happy. Maybe your parents didn't say I love you often, but they never left each other alone in hard times. Maybe you simply never believed that a piece of paper could protect something real. These quiet observations shaped a belief. The quality of a relationship isn't guaranteed by a ceremony. This isn't rejecting marriage. It's seeing through the form. What's interesting is this clarity spreads into other parts of your life. You might be the one who doesn't throw birthday parties, doesn't post anniversary photos, doesn't set your partner as your phone wallpaper. Some people think that means you're not fully invested, but you know the truth. You just invest in places that don't need to be seen. Psychologists call this internal validation orientation. Your sense of certainty comes from within. You don't need rituals to prove it over and over again. For some people, not posting means not loving. For you, love doesn't need to be updated daily. At the end of the day, people who don't move toward marriage usually aren't people who don't understand its meaning. They just define meaning differently. The most beautiful parts of marriage: companionship, commitment, choosing each other over time. You haven't rejected any of those. What you've rejected is the official version. You've chosen to express your relationship in your own language, even if it has no name, no ring, no moment, that others can applaud. This isn't absence. This is translation. You took a universal language and turned it into a dialect. Only the two of you understand. Someone once asked you, what does it mean to be truly settled? You didn't answer, but deep down, you already knew. It's not a ceremony. It's an ordinary Tuesday night. One of you says, I'm hungry. The other quietly gets up and cooks. And in that moment, both of you know, tomorrow, next year, years from now, this rhythm will stay the same. No witnesses, No applause. But that's your version. A friend who's been married for years once said something you never forgot. My wedding day felt like the least real day of my life. The moments that made me sure were the ones no one ever photographed. Even people inside marriage understand this. The real commitment is not in the ceremony. So why should you doubt yourself just because you don't have one? So next time someone looks at you and asks, why haven't you settled down yet? You don't need to explain you're not afraid. You're not picky, you're not avoiding. You're simply choosing to take love seriously in your own way. You just didn't package it into something others recognize. Because you already know. The weight of a relationship has nothing to do with whether it's seen. If you saw yourself in this story, maybe you're not as alone as you thought. What's a moment in your life that didn't need proof? Leave it in the comments. And if you want more conversations about choice, identity, and living on your own terms, follow for the next one.